This is the Time Is Now podcast, presented by IRG.
Welcome to the Time Is Now podcast, hosted by your team at IRG. I am your host, Justin Villa, and today we're in a different location, guys. I have two members of the IRG team, Luis Victor Villalobos, and Jengis Bayerli. And guys, we are in, I think, one of the best locations in Brickell. We are not in the main traffic area. We're kind of in a hidden gem. Exactly. And today we are joined by a very, very special guest, Ina Espino, the VP of Sales from One Sotheby's, representing the St. Regis Residences in Brickell. How are you, Ina?
Hi, how are you guys? Thank you so much for having me today.
Of course. Well, thank you for allowing us to be here and definitely do this podcast here in this wonderful sales.
By the way, quick note, I know Ina for the last 20 years. She sold me my first house over here in Miami. Right. We were in a different project and everything, so we go way back.
Yeah.
Which is perfect because then you definitely know the market, you know the area, you know you're very experienced and very well versed in the area and Miami in general.
Absolutely.
We started talking a little bit before the podcast, and you kind of mentioned that you were born and raised here, Cuban background. It's very rare because I'm one of the only ones in the office that's born and raised in Miami. So yeah. I understand you 100%. But let's start the podcast and just kind of give us a little bit of details of the area. What can people expect of Brickell and the growth and boom that has happened after the pandemic?
I think it's been, incredible what's been happening in Miami, but in Brickell. Brickell has changed incredibly. Jengis knows 20 years ago he did buy his first apartment here in the Brickell area, and I think we were selling then at around $350, $400 a square foot.
Yeah. Wow.
And now you find apartments here for $2,000, $2,500, up to $4,500 a square foot, depending what kind of a product you are looking at. And I think people are looking to move to Brickell because of how it has grown, because you are in the center of the city and you're about 10 minutes from everything here. In Brickell, in this area, South Brickell in particular, I think we have a really, really unique location because we're close to the financial district. So you're about 10-block walk from Fifth, from Brickell City Center, from all the shops, from all the restaurants, the movies, the cafes. But you're also really close to I-95, so getting in and out of the building is really easy. Mm-hmm. As you guys know, the traffic in Miami has become crazy.
Yeah, exactly. At certain times.
So having that easy, getting in and out of your building, not being stressed out about getting stuck in traffic, I think that adds a lot of value to this South Brickell location. But I think where we are right now, this St. Regis Residences Miami, I think this location in particular is really, really special. And I think what makes it so special is not only having that Brickell Avenue address, which, for us is kind of like our Park Avenue. It adds a lot of, cachet. Yeah. I think being on the water, and not only being on Biscayne Bay, but having access to the water. So having a private marina, in Miami, we are a boating culture. Yeah. Everyone likes to go out on their boats. Everyone has boats. You have friends with boats, even if you don't have a boat. So having access to the water, having a marina where friends or family can come and tie up, you can invite them to lunch and go out in the afternoon, I think that adds a lot of value to your location, to your living experience, and to your life in general here in Miami.
I think also that this location is kind of like the best of both worlds because we're so close to the vibrant Brickell city life, but then we are also right on the edge where you have all these mansions and have beautiful single-family homes, and we are right there. This location is right there.
It's a very super exclusive location because you're not in the city, but you're in the city. It's just 5-10 minutes walk.
10-block walk,
That's
exactly.
amazing.
10 blocks from Brickell City Center.
Exactly.
But exactly, just what you said, the density drops dramatically once you cross 15th. Exactly. And it really does become a very residential area. The traffic drops. You have, all of the trees, and it's very green.
Feel the calm.
It changes.
There's no offices, nothing. Yeah.
The energy changes. Your vibe changes. And I think the idea, even in this building in particular, is that once you pull in to this driveway,
Exactly.
all of your
Plus the
senses
beautiful
change.
trees in the
The
entrance.
tree-lined driveway,
it's
the
amazing.
big banyan trees, which are so,
So unique. Like when I first
So
came to
Miami.
Miami, I was like shocked. What are these trees? You know, I'm trying to figure it out because it's shocking to see
Yeah,
them. Like
yeah,
as if
like-
you're in Amazons or something. Right?
It's like, yeah, it's like almost a rainforesty feeling, and
Yeah.
it has this gorgeous canopy, and it really does shade, and they're so majestic. You know, these trees are like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And it adds another kind of richness to the building and another level of kind of old world elegance to it.
Definitely.
You know, and the brick paved driveway kind of also changes your feel, the vibe when you're coming in off Brickell Avenue into this property. And I think, you know, being 3 acres on the water is also
Yeah.
impressive because
It
it
is.
really does make it, you know, a home.
Exactly.
Of course. And I think it's interesting having the backing like a brand, like the St. Regis. I mean, the white glove service, everything that they offer, and the hospitality that is worldwide, like very well known.
Yeah, outstanding.
If you could just kind of elaborate like on their input and how they're going to affect the lives of the
Yeah.
residents living here.
That's the thing, you know, in Miami, everyone is selling you a luxury product, right? Everyone's selling luxury, the most luxurious, the most ultra luxurious. But honestly, without that service component, there is no luxury.
No.
And that is what St. Regis is legendary for, is their butler service, their white glove
glove, yeah.
service, and their attention to details. That really kind of takes the building to the next level. And it really makes this building a one-of-a-kind product in Miami, and that's almost impossible to find.
Yeah.
You know, something that's unique that we don't have 5, 6, 7 other buildings that are kind of doing the same thing. So this building having all of the hotel services, you know, the butler service, the room service, full service spa, private restaurant, private marina, house car, but without having that hotel component. So you don't have people coming in and out with the suitcases and the parties and the weekends and all of that kind of stuff. So this really is a one-of-a-kind building. Just 150 residents, all of the hotel services without the hotel. So that really, I think, adds a lot of value to the building. And, you know, you guys know better than anyone, a branded building, you know, brands in Miami are really important, but a hospitality brand, that even takes us to the next level.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Miami has hit like that peak of where everybody wants an ultra luxury residence, a vacation home, something, right? Where it's kind of set a new standard for developers and brands to kind of, all right, we need to step it up. We need to be that brand that everybody wants to associate with. We want to be that next happening building, you know? So I definitely do think it's something that we've seen change in the last few years where luxury is not everything. There's ultra luxury and that's where people and clients and just the standard of pre-construction has gotten to. And it's very difficult, I think, following projects if they don't elevate their brand, their project itself to that ultra luxury level. It's going to be very difficult.
Absolutely. And today's buyer is very educated.
Yeah.
Today's buyer knows what they want. They've seen everything. And, you know, now in Miami, we do have a very, very high-end luxury market. And, you know, we see buyers still coming in with a 3-year and 5-year plan to move to Miami. And they're looking for something that is ultra luxury and something that maybe they haven't seen here in Miami before.
Yeah, exactly.
What's been happening, the way I see it, is that developers have been marrying, you know, to luxury by association to a brand. What I find here is not just an association, but an experience. What you were saying, it's just not that, you know, I have the brand that represents luxury, but I'm living in luxury and I have access to that, which makes a big difference in as far as competition is concerned.
Yeah, and I think like one thing that also, I mean, a benefit that the residents get. I think the last time we did the presentation, you mentioned something along the lines like if they go to like a different St. Regis, they'll have like that butler service.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's so
I mean,
nice.
they'll know what, and they know your preferences, what your likes are, what your needs are, and then wherever you go, they'll know you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That really does elevate, your quality of life. Your butler will discuss with the butler at, the St. Regis in New York and let them know, you know what, Ina needs a French press coffee in the morning. And she will leave her shoes outside to be shined. Make sure you unpack her clothes. And she only likes red roses. And these kind of little details, they're on top of this. And those little surprises,
Make a
that attention
difference.
to detail, knowing what you like and you don't like really does change your experience.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just not by association, but by living the experience of luxury, and that is luxury.
Yeah, and I think even the addition of the art gallery and things like that, just it's a different feel, right? It's a different vibe, a different energy, a different everything that this building has, and obviously, it's very much needed in the Miami market.
Definitely.
And it's something.
Interestingly, we were talking with Ina a couple of weeks ago, and most of the buyers or the investors or whoever is buying from St. Regis, first of all, I think the penthouses or the more expensive things started being sold, right? Than the cheaper ones. That was
Yeah.
a very interesting thing,
Yeah, yeah.
which you don't expect in most of the buildings because the cheaper ones goes first, and then you try to sell the other ones and everything. But in this project, it was different, right?
Absolutely. We have found, Brickell has changed, and that's
Yeah.
one of the other things we were talking about. Brickell is now, there's a lot of families here, and a lot of people are looking for larger residences.
Yeah.
It used to be 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, very investor friendly. People that were looking to buy a second home or a little weekend place, a little pied-à-terre. Now we're finding that buyers are looking for bigger homes.
Yeah.
In this location where you're close to all of the good schools, you're in the center of the city, easy to work from, easy to live from. And so, our 3 bedrooms, our 4 bedrooms, which are very large in this building, 3,000, 4,000 square feet. That's what we're finding that people are, kind of leaning towards and looking for.
You have 2 penthouses, right?
We have 2 penthouses,
And you have
spectacular.
villas, 2 villas.
2 single-family villas, which are also
Amazing.
so
Yeah, unique.
unique.
Yeah, there's
You
nothing like
you
that.
don't
Different
see
concept.
that anywhere. 4-story villas, personal private swimming pool on the rooftop. Really, really special residences. And I think, Robert Stern, the architect here,
Yep.
really kind of, went to the next level with this building. Not only with the design and the look, but all of these little details, the villas, the sky villas, the penthouses that are, 3 floors with rooftop swimming pool. And so the building has some incredible residences that really are unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class.
Could we also talk a little bit about the amenities and what the residents can
Absolutely.
get?
This building has over 50,000 square feet of amenities, and I think on top of being, on Brickell Avenue, having the St. Regis brand, I think the amenities really add a lot because 50,000 square feet of amenities for just 152 residents
Yeah, that's a lot.
is really, really nice. And so there's 3 swimming pools, including 1 indoor lap pool. There's a full-service spa with therapists on hand for treatments, massages, facials, manicures. On top of that, we'll have a steam room, a sauna, a cold plunge. There'll be, classes with Pilates and yoga, stretching classes. Our cardio and weight room is all designed by the Right Fit Gym. So it really is kind of next level in terms of equipment, even the equipment layout in the building. We'll have a screening room, a teens room, kids room, co-working spaces. I think the private restaurant with Fabio Trabocchi as our chef, he's a Michelin-starred chef.
Yeah, exactly.
Him doing all of the food and beverage for the building will be spectacular. Not only at the fine dining restaurant on the ground floor, which spills out onto the marina, but on the pool deck, we also have a poolside cafe. And you can always order in-room dining, which for me, that is
like
my
hotel.
Oh, that's
favorite
amazing.
thing
Yeah.
in the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing like, room service, breakfast room service. So those are really nice features. I think, well, at least for me, my favorite feature is on the 31st and 32nd floor we have, which will be, every St. Regis has their signature bar, like the King Cole Bar in New York. And we will have the library bar on the 31st and 32nd floor, double ceiling heights, panoramic, iconic Miami views, seeing the cruise ships, South Beach, Key Biscayne. And so that'll be the Sky Bar on the 31st, 32nd floor, in addition to a game room, and that's adjacent to a cognac room. And then, of course, the signature St. Regis tea room, where we will serve tea every day at 3 p.m. St. Regis is has their rituals that they love, and that everyone who goes and visits the St. Regis's love. One of the favorite features that the buyers that have purchased here are we will have 2 suites, which will be basically 2 hotel rooms. Only the residents from St. Regis Residences Miami will be able to reserve those 2 hotel suites. But when you have family or friends, people coming to visit you, which living in Miami, you will have a lot of people coming to visit you.
They will want to come.
They will come. Having these little suites are going to be great because as your guests, they have access to the pickleball court, to the swimming pools, to the restaurant, the cafe, the sky bar. Walking around the grounds, there'll be little walkways and benches, areas to be. And so as your guests, you have everybody there, but they're not in your space. So I think that's a really nice feature also.
And how many marina slips did you say were
So we're the marina slips are being finalized now. I believe that we have been approved for 8 slips. We're trying to get a few more. So until we have all of that 1,000% finalized, we haven't sold any of the slips.
Perfect.
They will be sold at some point, but I think the nicest feature is being able to, tie up if you have friends or family with a boat.
Pick up and drop off.
Pick up, drop off. And then we also have the St. Regis Yacht Club, which will be just for residents of the building. You'll be able to text your butler and let him know, I need the 30-footer with fishing poles and bait at 5 a.m., or I need the 80-footer at 6 p.m. with stone crabs and champagne. And they'll have that for you at the edge of the marina.
It actually could be better than having your own boat.
Definitely.
I agree.
Being served in that manner, forget it.
Yeah.
It's the way to go.
That is the best.
Also, sometimes the investors or the buyers are asking about probably the beach access.
Right.
Can you comment on that also, so that they get informed about
Right,
it?
right. So everyone always wants, a beach club for when friends and family come to visit. And we will, the residents here will be members to the W South Beach Beach Club. And they will have a little area that will be just for St. Regis residents. And that'll be also a very nice addition to have.
Of course. It's perfect.
I think that's definitely a plus because we do have a lot of investors and people always wondering okay, great. You're on the water, but you don't have access to a beach, but that definitely adds a benefit to it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else, Ina, that you would kind of want to share to the audience and just kind of give one last pitch to why invest in St. Regis? Why Brickell? Why St. Regis? Why
Miami?
Why now?
Right?
Right, yeah. But why now?
Miami is the
Exactly.
Gosh, there's so many. There's so many. I can't give just one. But I think if I were to say what I think makes the building so special, such a great purchase, such a good time to buy, is Miami right now is I think on the verge of a total explosion. I think by the time this building is done, it will be untouchable. Not only because of its location, it's waterfront, it has the St. Regis brand. It's a unique property. It's a one-of-a-kind property. And to say that in Miami is impossible. So I think that this makes your purchase really unique.
Priceless.
Priceless. And I think the timing works.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ina. Thank you for taking your time out of your day.
Great having you.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, you can check us out on all our social media, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Check us out at our office if you want to swing by, get a little coffee at 848 Brickell Ave, Penthouse 1. And remember, the time is now. Thank you.
This is the Time Is Now podcast, presented by IRG.